Well, hello. My name is Brandon Gavinsky, obviously from my friends and family out there. They know who I am, but I am making this video also for other people that I might meet along the way. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna explain to you my testimony of where I came from and why I believe what I believe right now. So I came from a pretty conservative Christian family. This was back in Wisconsin, that's where I grew up. I went to a Lutheran grade school and a Lutheran high school, where I was basically kind of spoon-fed the gospel, as some might say, basically taught all the Bible stories. I knew all about God's grace and all the lessons that you learn in the Bible. But then when I went to college, I went to a secular college, and this is kind of when some might say I went on to live in the real world. The gates of freedom were open for me, where I was free to make decisions for myself, where I didn't have the guidance of my friends and family necessarily over me all the time. And this is really where kind of I wouldn't say lost my faith, but kind of took a step away from it, was more engaged with the whole party scene in college. This is where I was going out and experiencing the social life a little bit more. Throughout this whole experience, I developed a pretty irresponsible lifestyle. It really wasn't getting the grades I wanted to, and I was paying a lot of money for the schooling. I was drinking way too often and just making irresponsible decisions with myself. And it just, 3.5 years later, it kind of came to a point where I really didn't want to live that lifestyle anymore, because I was just feeling gross and unsatisfied with what I was doing there. So I wanted to focus more on my career. And this is where I was just about to graduate from my degree in that sports science or kinesiology. And so I took an internship down in Florida. I drove all the way down to Florida. I didn't know anybody down here. The workplace I was working at, I didn't know any of my coworkers. And so this was a whole new experience for me. And what I really learned is that I started struggling in certain areas of my life, with just like confidence to talk to just random people, meet new friends. And I was struggling financially too as well. And this was right around that time where I was like really questioning my faith that I had growing up. I wanted to tap back into it, but I became a very skeptical person, and I started asking all the really big questions when it came to my faith and just things around me. And so I kind of approached my faith from a very skeptical standpoint. I really wanted to know what was really true. I didn't want to just believe in something just because I grew up that way and it made me feel good. I actually wanted to know what was the real hard answers to all these questions. So I asked all the really big questions that we can as humans. Where did we come from? What is our purpose? Where do we go after we die? Can we be certain of any of these things, right? And so I asked those same questions of a lot of different areas of life, different explanations, different religions and stuff, because basically I came to the conclusion, people on the other side of the planet are believing in a different religion, and they're believing it for almost the same reason that I was, just because their family taught them and their family before them taught them. So how can I know that mine is true and theirs isn't? Are we both true? Are neither of us correct? I spoke to a lot of people of the Islamic faith, a lot of people from the Buddhist faith, a lot of different areas of explanation. Does science have an explanation for everything? Do we have any purpose outside of just being animals? I love science, so I really dove into the whole science versus God, and does science disprove God? And I went into all these areas of explanations of life very open-minded. If this is the explanation that's really true, whether I like the answer or not, I'm gonna abide by it because it's the truth. I don't want to be ignorant. But the crazy thing is though, is as I was approaching all these explanations, areas of life, I was fair, meaning that I asked all the questions, not expecting a certain answer. But long story short, and this is actually why I'm creating this YouTube channel, is that I'm gonna go through each and every single one of these sections of why I believe what I believe. All sectors of life, explanations of life, seem to fall short in some area. They seem to kind of answer some of the bigger questions or have pretty solid answers in certain areas, but always seem to have something missing that just didn't make complete sense. And for me, the only thing that really had a solid answer for me, that answered everything, was the Bible. No matter how many stones I threw at the Bible, questions I threw at it, it always spit out a pretty solid answer. And so at some point I stopped questioning all these other sections of life, and I was really trying to dive deep, questioning the Bible. Where did the Bible come from? Is it reliable? Do we even have a good translation? And who was Jesus? Can I really believe that he existed? Can I really believe that he was the Son of God? Can I be confident in the things that he taught me, that they're still relatable today, even though the Bible was written a few thousand years ago, right? Those are the questions I started asking. And I, again, consistently got solid answers on all these questions. That's actually what I'm going to talk about with this YouTube channel, is through this journey that I've been through, my faith has been pretty solidified, but not just off of faith. It's off of actual empirical evidence and logic there's a reason to believe that there's a God out there and to be pretty confident in who he is and what his commandments are for us. I'm going to be talking about some serious topics, explanations of why I believe that the Bible's reliable, why I believe that Jesus really is the answer to all our problems. He was the Son of God and we need him for salvation, and why there really is an afterlife. There's certain things that we need to know before we get before God. If what I just kind of talked about is interesting to you and you've had some of these questions for yourself, make sure to tune into some of my videos, because some of the things that I've came to find will also kind of answer questions for other people.